And hello, welcome back to another video. I hope your holidays was well, and hope you got some Christmas presents. If not, that's cool. There's always next year. You can always treat yourself. But in any case, today I wanted to talk about how much money I made in freelancing within 1 year. Following up from my last video, talking about how I left my full-time job to pursue graphic design. I did freelancing from September up to March. So not entirely a whole year, but it's still a pretty decent amount, basically. So some of the platforms that I immediately looked at when it comes to freelancing was Fiverr and Twitch, surprisingly. I actually had like zero intention of streaming on Twitch, but Fiverr was fairly difficult to get started out on, and as is most freelancing websites, because you have to do a lot of research into how to promote your content and how to get your content seen, pretty much. For the longest time, I believed that there was going to be some kind of snowball effect that happens after a certain point of working on a platform and getting X amount of reviews and so on. But no, there is no snowball effect. If you're not on top of it, it won't grow automatically. In any case, in order to start out my Fiverr, I needed at first a few initial reviews, and to get those, obviously, I just hit my friends up like, hey, here's my Fiverr. I'll pay you like $20 to buy my my service, and write me an honest review. Give me actual work to do. Let me get my feet wet. In relation to graphic design, I wanted to do two things mainly. One is album art, and then the second thing is vector tracing. I'll go ahead and pop up an example of what vector tracing is, or at least how I vector trace. And I will also pop up an example of some album art that I did do for clients. Figuring out the right pricing for my gigs was definitely trial and error, because starting off with zero buyer reviews, obviously you can't really have a gig that's a $200 gig. No one's gonna trust you. No one knows if you're credible, if you're a scammer, or if you're genuinely a really talented graphic designer that's just starting out on a platform. And you don't want to do a $5 gig, because it's the same thing. You never know if they're gonna scam you. They can't trust you. But at the same time, a $5 gig looks a lot better than a $200 gig, because it's $5. Where can you go wrong? The album artworks that I did a lot better than the vector tracing gig that I had up, so eventually I ended up removing the vector tracing gig because didn't get any bites on it. I was a little too hopeful for it, but I'm going to go ahead and pop up a image of my Fiverr earnings to this day. So this is everything from September up until today, December 30th, 2021. And there have maybe been about three gigs that I've had since I started working in March, when I technically quit freelancing, but I still technically do it at the same time. It's kind of just, if I have the time to do it, I'll do it, sort of deal. After a few reviews, and after a few, I mean by like 15 reviews, I actually bumped my pricing for the gig from $25 to $45. And Fiverr has an option to set 3 different prices for 3 different packages on your gigs. Now, as good as that was, my thing is I wanted to give my clients ease of access. So I didn't want them to pick and choose, or feel that they needed to pick and choose, and they can just look at one gig and be like, oh look, this has just about everything I need. All right, cool, I'm gonna get that. And if they needed some other stuff, then I can offer extra gigs within that gig. So if they wanted to purchase commercial rights, they can buy it for $5 extra. Or if they wanted to rush it, $5 for an extra day, sort of deal, and so on. It worked out great. I had a lot of clients that were very friendly, but I did have maybe 3 bad apples out of I believe the 60 orders that I've done. Not a lot. It's definitely hard to get noticed as a freelancer, but there are definitely ways that you can help yourself get noticed. I might make another video on that. Obviously, I will actually, but not in this video. We're talking about the finances. And you can see that the amount of money that I made from September up until today, it's not a lot. For some people, it might be, but in my case, it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough to survive off of, obviously, but it was most definitely enough to prove to myself that my ability was definitely worth something. And that was very motivating to me. And moving on to the second platform that I decided to try freelancing on, skipping over Twitch because I didn't necessarily monetize my Twitch channel, even though I did become affiliate. There were donations that came in, but it was such a small amount that I don't feel that it's necessary to kind of add it into this calculation. But the platform that I chose was Etsy. Reason being is because I actually got into making streamer graphics. So I started to make streamer overlay designs, streamer packages, pretty much. So, their main screen overlays, their offline screens, their panels, sometimes alerts, and I got into all of that. And I was making them every single day on my Twitch channel. So while I streamed, I was promoting both my Etsy and my Fiverr at the same time, which worked out really great hand in hand because whenever I would get a custom order, either on Fiverr or on Etsy, I could let them know, hey, I'm working on your overlay right now. Or I could even say, hey, I actually stream my work design process. Do you mind if I stream your overlay? And sometimes they would say yes, and sometimes they would say no. Either way, it's totally cool. Up to what the client wants. And this is how much I made on Etsy. And the earnings has not stopped. Not to say that I'm raking in the cash right now, but it's more of like a small passive income as of right now, because the amount that I make on Etsy actually covers the fees that I would have to cover in taxes, in ad fees, and relisting fees. So pretty much every time I make even at least one sale, I've already covered all of my fees. So it's permanently passive income, just as long as I continually write it down on my my tax returns that I'm making money here. Let me pay taxes on this. And the last, not necessarily a platform, but the last way that I was making money was pretty much through word of mouth. So sometimes I would get either friends and family messaging me on Facebook or even on Instagram asking me if I can do a gig for them. And if I didn't have the time to redirect them to make the payment on my Fiverr so that I can keep log of it, I would just have them send it straight to my PayPal and log it there through a website called and.co. It is a free website that you can use that's partnered with Fiverr, or maybe by Fiverr. I don't know. Anyway, it's a really easy way to keep track of your statements, your transactions, your income, your expenditure. You can set up what monthly fees you have to pay. You don't have to connect to anything. You just set up something like, hey, this is a monthly subscription fee that I'm paying. Do you mind keeping log of this? And I'll go ahead and pop up that track record that I have. I haven't been really adding to the income list of it since maybe the middle of this year. I've gotten lazy with it, to be honest. Don't get lazy with it. Trust me. If you are truly going to dedicate to freelance, do not get lazy with keeping track of how much money you make, where your money is spent, and also where your money is coming from, because it'll bite you when it comes to taxes. I personally haven't been able to pay taxes on it yet because I'm waiting for next year to hit. but it'll be an interesting experience. Maybe I'll make a video on that too when the time comes. So calculating that all together, within about 6 months, $3,200 with Etsy, Fiverr, and some PayPal income all combined. And me personally, for the 6 months that I did it, starting with absolutely zero online presence besides like an Instagram with 100 some followers that is just all friends and family, I think it's pretty good. It's not the craziest start. I wasn't expecting to like fly into like fame and be like the most hottest talented graphic designer out there, making buttloads of money, being the new Mr. Beast. But no, it was a struggle, but it was a welcome struggle because I definitely did learn a lot. And I will definitely share some clientele stories in another video. And that's going to wrap it up for this video. I know I didn't make too much money to kind of like shock people out of their seats, like, oh my gosh, you can make so much money freelancing. You can, definitely, with given enough time, but doing it within 1 year is nearby impossible unless you really know what you're doing when it comes to the marketing of things. And if you guys enjoyed this video, do let me know. I do have some more videos planned out, but this is going to be the last video I upload for this year. Happy New Year. Hopefully 2022 isn't so shitty. I know 2021, 2020, and 2019 were, let's not talk about those kind of deal. But let's get into the new year strong, and hope that we don't destroy the planet before we destroy ourselves. Have a wonderful day, guys, and have an even better New Year's. I will catch you guys next time. Till then, take care.